So I was flying my A10 and I came in for either a landing or a touch and go. I'm kind of getting completely away from touch and goes because I feel like they don't do me justice. I feel like I have to completely land, stop, and then take off again. Because touch and goes, like especially with warbirds, by the tail staying up, it's not realistic to help me with true landings. So anyway, not important for this topic. So I come down, I got a good flare. The A10's coming in perfect. Super windy day though, so it's a little maybe unpredictable. And I soften it up beyond my belief. It lands perfect, right? But I'm rolling, and I decide, oh well, let me just touch and go. And so I stopped completely, and then it was coming down to a slow. And so then I take off again. I'm getting good speed, and then it hits like a little dip in the runway that we have, and then it takes air, and then it's not enough to get up, so it just comes back down softly because it's still under a lot of power. And when it hit the ground, I mean, as soon as it hit the ground off of that little elevation and come back down, I seen poof. And out of the motor pod, I seen a poof of smoke. Well, this one, poof. And it looked pretty cool, I gotta say. But and then as I got down, I noticed the aircraft started spinning out of control. So I was like, oh, something ain't right. So then, of course, I get in, and the second fan wasn't spinning. So obviously the motor burned out, whatever happened there. So it's obviously you're looking at it like he's already taken apart. So if you get yours and you have a situation like this where you didn't crash it, but you just want to change the motor, there's a seam. And like right here, mine is a little raggedy because I've glued it back together and I had to cut it open. And I really wasn't using much care at this point. I just kind of cut it. But on the side, I've never glued it. Like right there, it's just a piece of tape. And it goes forward all the way to here. There's tape. I know you can see the shine on the video. So there's tape there, and the tape goes all the way to the front of the aircraft where you could really just separate the top from the bottom. Well, I didn't realize all this, and on my first crash, I just kind of glued all this together. So now I got like a partial thing. And one of my really bad crashes where I completely disintegrated the whole bird, the whole circuit board was out and everything. So anyway, it's been like a bunch of bad repairs. So I don't care how bad it looks because it still flies so awesome. But anyway, perfect flight, and then I ended up with that. So I'm gonna move this out the way because you'll see what basically I have. All this is intact, all the linkage, everything's perfect. It didn't crash or anything. It just burned out the motor. So anywho, this piece is usually connected to the front half, but it was already broken, and I cut through here to kind of see if I could release this and this. There's a seam there, as you can see. But that was not coming off very easily. So, you can see it's kind of very well married to each other. So I kind of aborted that when this was already kind of broken from a previous crash. I said, well, let's go ahead and just take it off. So I broke this piece off. So this is what I'm interested in. Original, it was, basically like this, all put together, fan and everything installed. So I wish I had thought about doing it before now. But anyway, here we are. So I took my X-Acto knife, and then when you get to the plastic part, you kind of, you run into a wall there. So then you start kind of feathering it to basically, like getting around the housing, like you see me doing with the X-Acto knife with the piece removed. And then there's this little line in the middle. So you get to that, and then you come back. And then it was still stuck pretty good. So I had to go around the outside of here and kind of until I got it off. And I kind of did a decent job because you could see I didn't remove much foam. I actually went straight to the plastic. There's a little foam there. But anyway, that's not that bad. And I left it completely intact at the top because I'm just going to glue the bottom half on and everything should be good. Because the top is one piece. It goes, from here all the way across, whereas the two bottoms attach onto the top piece. Yeah, I could have probably bought another one or something, but, that's like this bird is not pretty. It never will be, so why even pretend? So, anywho, I ordered this replacement kit. Comes with the screws. It comes with the motor. This is the bad one. All right. This one has a red mark on it. So I'm going to make sure I put that on there since in case I have another crash, I can just kind of know that this is the red one. Anywho, I'm going to thread this through. So you could see there's a little opening right there where the other housing kind of went. And take a look and see inside this one. Yep, so you can see in the back of there, kind of the formation it goes. The wires come out where the hole is, and then they go into the housing. So that's what I got here. I got the wires coming out where the housing. I see my 3 screws. I'm not going to use the new screws because obviously mine are still good and they're still stuck in there, so why bother, I'd say. Make sure I got the right Allen wrench, and I do. And these things, if you don't know about these, I think it's made by Dynamite or something, but you just push this, push this little thing back and slide the tools in there. And you got various, like all the popular sizes and a Phillip in here, So this is good. And for little stuff like this, I find that without that piece at all, it's pretty good to work with. So I'm just going to line up the screws and screw it in. I don't guess I need to try to get that on video. I don't want this video to be too long because this is going to probably take me a little while because these are teeny tiny. And it'd probably be much easier with my headlight and looking at it directly versus trying to get it on film. This is not brain size, so you don't really need to see it. There's 3 holes in there. There's 3 screws. I'm going to go ahead and get that in. Alright, I got the first one in and the second one started threading. Yeah, the first one's tight. So I figured I could come back on because I didn't want to waste too much of your time looking at me fumbling around trying to get these tiniest little Allens in. Alright, now I'm going to snap this into the tool. I'm going to support the plastic of the duct hand holder, and I'm going to just give it a little tighten. Scared to tighten it too much, but it's so teeny, I'm pretty sure it'll probably snap off. Perhaps could use a little drop of Loctite. So now I gotta feed this through. There's a little bitty hole right there. See where it came from? So yeah, I'm gonna just force it in however it goes because I don't care if it's messed up or anything. Yeah, it finally went in. And take this and just push it through, and it went. And then I get my little precision grabbing tool and try to get that. And I got a little piece of it. Let me push it in some more with this. There we go. Pop it right up into a good position where you can see it. I hate the fact that these lock sometimes. Not many times I use them where they lock and it matters to me, but anyhow. Alright, so this is not the most opportune space because it's like crossing the whole area, but they don't have it the neatest on there either, so that's it, basically it passes by the wires. Been working all that time. I'm gonna try it, so we'll know if it doesn't work. Like I mentioned, this is not the first crash or the first repair. This thing has been repaired after crashes probably 10 times. Yeah, that's not even an exaggeration either. I was very intrigued by it. I actually supported A-10s. I'm a Marine, and of course we don't have them. But in Afghanistan, when, in that situation, and when we'd have refuels and stuff, basically, whose ever aircraft come in while we're at a forward operating base, whose ever aircraft came in, everybody helped support them. Which A-10s don't do anything at forward operating bases because they can't land, obviously, because forward operating bases are just in the middle of nowhere. But at the home base, you know, yeah, we would still support each other. But yeah, like Apaches and stuff, Marines still have a lot of FaceTime with those, because when we're on site, Air Force, Army, everybody's kind of looking out for each other in some settings. I'm not gonna say always though, because sometimes certain branches of the military can be kind of prima donna and don't want to be bothered with the little people, or you know, the Marines. So anywho, all right, so now I got the wire ducted, through the little passage, not ducted. This motor housing can go back on like it's supposed to. I could CA this or something. At one point in time I probably would have CA'd this, or maybe this, like this glue, let me grab it. Yeah, this stuff here, Instacure or Foam Cure. I like this stuff, and I still got a good amount in this bottle. I had 2 bottles when I first started doing this stuff, because I was like, I'm gonna need some of that glue. So I like it, and it works well. It works good for especially things like, you could make a whole, like if I want to secure this wire, I could make like a little pool, a big puddle of it right here, and it would secure it in there and dry really hard. I like that, but it takes too long to dry. So for something like this, I feel like hot glue is my preferred item. You know, it works fast, and to be honest with you, yeah, I'm dropping stuff everywhere. To be honest with you, this glue gun, I'm about to buy another one that's similar. It's more of a pistol style, so I think I'm gonna try that one because I like this one so much. But at first I was kind of into the regular glue gun scene, and you know, that's that. But then when I tried this one, I was like, oh my gosh, there's something better. This gets hot in 6 seconds. So I'm gonna just take this little thingy here and demonstrate that. I'm gonna push it down, I'm gonna hold it, the light comes on. Oh, it came on and went off, so let's see, I didn't hold it long enough. Yep, there we go. So now it's strobing. Once it finished strobing, you're ready to glue. All right, see, it went solid. So now, and see if I can get that on camera. It's gluing already. So all of that aggravation I dealt with all that time with slow glue guns is, I'm relieved. So I'm gonna just get some glue in here, kind of get it towards the inside, and it doesn't get super high temperatures. So it's one thing you have to know, that you're gonna have to move fast with it, because you don't have much glue cure time, because it's not a very high temp glue gun by it working so fast. So you got to get it on there and push it together. And I got my glue finger for if something goes down and I need to brush it off. So now I don't find that there's a little glue right there, so I'm gonna just take my glue finger and I'm gonna wipe it flat, and that's it. I'm good. I don't find that I need to probably spread that out. See how it's loose right there? So I'm gonna put a nice, because this one is pretty solid. See how it doesn't move? Now I glued this to this, but I never glued this to that. So this glue gun is narrow enough to really get into some of those gaps too. So I'm gonna probably must the foam up a little bit by prying it open, and I'm gonna just jab this in there. Get a little glue and try to get a little bit more further down. Okay, it comes out real good, so you can kind of manipulate that easily. And I'm gonna get one more good puddle. Maybe it's easier to get down here, so I'm gonna drag it all the way across. I don't guess I'm gonna be in here, and if I do, all right, I'm gonna just smash it down. There's a little puddle there. I could probably get it with the glue finger, but it's underneath the bottom. I mean, yeah, I'm not gonna get too picky on this stuff. Most people would just throw this thing away. I've seen videos where people crash it, and I've crashed mine. At least out of my 10 crashes with this that needed repairs, at least 5 of them were to the point where a lot of people would throw it away. And I just keep bringing it back because I like the challenge, for one. Like, I like to buy birds that other people crashed even. It's just, the challenge is one thing to me. I like it. It's fun. And you know, obviously my skill level isn't the super highest, so it gives me something to play with that doesn't break the bank. Let me grab, I got this little piece here that I broke off in the original separation. I'm gonna try to get that and glue it back on. Let me look for it. Okay, I did store everything in the box. The glue gun's still on, which it shuts down quickly. That's one kind of part that might aggravate some people, but you know, it gets hot again in 6 seconds. So you know, if it bothers you terribly, just of course turn it back on. You know, I don't know. Anywho, let me get that kind of glued in. Try to get anything from the inside of the duct, because I don't want stuff slowing it down. Those little screaming demon 30 millimeters are turning pretty hot. So get the rest of the glue off my fingers. All right. This is not the best right here. I could probably run a little bead across there just to get my glue finger ready. And yeah, when I was prying it apart, it didn't have that before. When I was prying it apart, I probably put a nice little crack in there. So I got a decent amount of glue on it. Now I'm gonna go ahead and squeeze everything together and just wipe it across. Now you see how that did? You see it? By me wiping it, it made like a perfect seam. You see that? I don't know if you can see that. I hope you can. I can't tell by the video though. But all I did was I put a bead across there and I gave it a second or two to start getting its act together. Not long. If you wait too long, it's gonna pull. You don't want to get it where it's gonna pull. But I mean, I'm rubbing my finger across this and it's completely smooth. It's almost like a piece of tape or something. So anyway, that's how I do my joints like that. And now this motor pod that was like really loose and I just glued that so it's not even dry, but it's rigid. I'm convinced I can fly, no issues. And you know, you could take your glue finger and renew it every time, because of course the glue doesn't stick very well and you could just peel it off. All right, this is still on, so I'm gonna go ahead and double click it. Now it's off. And it doesn't leak very much where you could be like a total aggravation. Like that's the leak. And you saw me just touch it with my finger. It's not even burning me. So like the temp is, you won't get the best glue joint. Like some of the super hot glues will definitely give you a better joint. Before somebody comments on that little detail, I'll go ahead and point that out, that by this being a lower temp glue gun, you're obviously going to get lower temp glue, which would lead to lower amounts of adhesion, because it's just not getting the glue as hot. It's not melting the foam like some do. You know, plenty of details. I'm just saying it gets hot enough, but not as hot as a regular one. Let me zoom out a little bit so I don't miss this. All right, I'm gonna grab my 2 plugs and get them out. All right, so this one came from the one that was red. I'm gonna look at that. No red. Look at this. Oh, red. So I'm gonna connect this back, and it's as far as it goes. I'll connect this other side. Kind of hard to hold, but all right, got it all the way in. All right, so now all of this is there. Now I think they had some tape on this. I'm gonna get a piece of tape. And I'm gonna spread this apart, and I'm probably gonna just glue it to right here, or tape it, sorry, because you just need it to not fall down into the motors and stuff. I'm gonna get that taped pretty good. Alright, so just a lot of excess wire. I'm gonna redo that tape job. Let me get ready for that. So these are your servos with the linear servos, and I don't want any of these wires to be in the way. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take and pull the wires. I got a piece of glue tape on my hand. I'm gonna get that out of the way. I don't need that right now. I'm gonna pull all these wires to the side like this, and then I'm going to push them in closer to the ESC combo. Alrighty. So what I could probably do is just get the other side taped, because I'm going to tape this back again, because taped worked for me well the last couple of times that I figured out that it was taped together, and that's all I need to do. So I'm going to put a piece of tape at the seam right there, and it's hard to probably see in the video, but I know you can see the joint. So alright, now that's taped together. So now I'm gonna probably glue this. So I'm gonna get my glue gun. It's thinking. Alright, so I don't want to glue this the half. I'm gonna tape that. So I'm just gonna glue this portion that meets to the front fuselage of the birds. Get some glue on there. I like to do this little dabbing motion that you see me working with here. It seems to work well for me, so I'm gonna stick with that. I'm gonna get that pushed together, get them mated as good as I can. I'm not gonna worry about the wire. I just want to make sure that this body line is even, and I'm gonna push forward and give the hot glue some time to do its thing. I see some seepage out, so I went ahead and just wiped it with my finger as I'm holding it. And another decent thing about the low temp hot glue is that it cools off faster, so then you don't have to hold it as long when you're doing these kind of repairs. So then I got my back area, the linkage pass through for the servos. So I don't know if I need to make this video super long just showing that. I'm just gonna put a piece of tape right there. So I'm gonna pause this. So now that I got that one side taped, I got this side open. I pushed all the wires in, and I took that same piece of tape and just glued those wires to the top so that they don't interfere with the servos. Put it back together, and I'm gonna get to that tape job that I mentioned earlier. So my plan was to tape on top of the original tape. The factory tape might still be there, but like I said, it's been quite a few crashes, so it started getting a problem with adhering to the other tape and one tape lifting off. So I just went ahead and ripped it off, and it looks a little uglier now. And that's why I like to leave the factory tape instead of removing it, because it leaves the factory paint and you don't have that complete messed up look. You know, you want to kind of fly by yourself and not look as ugly as possible. So anywho, I had to remove it so you can see there's some tape missing. So I'm gonna go ahead and just get a new piece on there, and that adhered pretty good. So now I'm feeling the rigidity of the plane coming back, and it's crazy. It's nothing but some regular Scotch tape that I'm using here, in case I didn't mention that and anybody looking at the video is like, what do you mean tape? Yeah, I'm using like some regular, not even Scotch, duct tape. Well, it's made by Duck, but it's invisible tape, or Scotch tape as we used to refer to it. Scotch used to be the company that made it, I'm sure. So I'm gonna just get another piece put on the back here. It doesn't need to be videoed. Crazy how it was originally put together with tape, and like now I'm like flexing this thing. It's like the tape is really making it rigid. So I'm not gonna put any glue in this area with these little jaws of this. I'm just gonna put some right at the end. So I'm gonna hold it down, get my glue gun going, and I'm gonna just glue this in a little bit, which is what I did the last time, and I had good results. It's actually very hard to get apart. Get the old glue out and get a good glob at the end, and then that should be it. Pretty. Cut it off. Pretty convinced this will fly. Alright, you could adjust the angle of things by pushing down on this a bit and letting the glue catch when it's even. I don't want my tail sticking up from where it was, and it's hard to tell because it's, like I said, it's so badly, you know, wrecked in every way. But outside of that, you know, listen till the glue dries because it looked like it shifted as soon as I let go. Yep, I'm gonna come back on to finish. All right, I am convinced this thing will fly with all the battle scars and tape. Get it. All right, she's initializing. See if I can video. All right, it didn't crash, so I don't really need to do too much checking of the control surfaces. Well, it's down elevator in a lot though. I have to see if that's be diving to the ground, be miserable to fly. Anywho, let's, without further ado, turn off throttle cut, and both motors are turning. Yep, so I could always tell which one it is because I could see my little marks on here and, you know, all the repairs around this pod. But I think it's pretty ready to fly. It's funny, I always laugh when I look at this thing. Look how worn down the wheel is. Like that many, because I love landing it. You know, it lands so great compared to everything else, I think. I almost wore the wheel out at this point. So, all right, that's all I wanted to cover. The old A10, one of my first birds, is ready to fly again. I hope you liked the video. I hope it helps. If you need to change your motor, shows you how to do it without any issues. Very easy. Just a lot of cutting. You know, if you're squeamish, don't throw it away. Contact me. I'll take it. Thanks.